I bought my dream house and invited my family for a housewarming. They didn't know I learned revenge at Hogwarts. Everyone thought Ayla Blackwood was just a quiet, unlucky girl. Years ago, her own family laughed when she said she wanted to buy a house one day. You? They mocked. You can't even survive without us. What they never knew was that Ayla received a letter that changed everything. Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. At Hogwarts, Ayla learned more than spells. She learned patience, control, and the most powerful magic of all, self-worth. While her family stayed the same, Ayla transformed. Years later, Ayla bought her dream house, a massive, elegant mansion on a quiet hill, white walls, golden lights, and a gate that whispered power. She invited her entire family for the housewarming party. They arrived shocked. "This is rented, right?" her aunt whispered. Her cousin laughed. She could never afford this. Ayla smiled. Inside, the house responded to her presence. Candles lit themselves. Doors closed softly. The air felt alive. Dinner was served. As they ate, Ayla stood up. "I want to thank you all," she said calmly, "for teaching me who I never wanted to become." Suddenly, the walls showed memories, their insults, their betrayal. The night they threw her out and said she'd fail. Her family froze. "This house," Ayla continued, "is protected by magic. The same magic you never believed in. Me." The doors opened. "Don't worry," she said softly. "I won't curse you." She smiled again. "My revenge is simple. I succeeded." Security escorted them out as the gate closed behind them forever. Ayla walked to the balcony, the moon shining above her. Hogwarts had taught her spells. Life had taught her revenge without cruelty. And her dream house finally felt like home. The gate slammed shut behind Ayla's family. Silence returned to the mansion. Ayla stood still, her hand trembling slightly. Revenge looked powerful from the outside, but inside, it felt heavy. That night, the house whispered again. "Ayla Blackwood." A familiar voice echoed through the halls. Her wand, locked away for years, began to glow. A silver owl appeared out of thin air and dropped a letter into her hands. Hogwarts seal. She opened it slowly. Magic never forgets those who were wronged. Memories rushed back. At Hogwarts, Ayla wasn't the strongest witch. She was the most patient. Her professors warned her once. Power used for anger destroys the witch first. Back in the present, a knock echoed through the gate. Her younger brother stood outside, the only one who never hurt her. "They're blaming you," he said quietly. "They say you used dark magic." Ayla stepped forward. "The gate opened just for him. I didn't destroy them." She replied calmly, "I showed them the truth." That night, her family's lies began to fall apart. Secrets surfaced. Money they stole using her name. Opportunities they blocked. Not because of spells. Because truth is stronger than magic. News spread. The girl they mocked now owned a mansion, a company, and a past even Hogwarts respected. Days later, Ayla visited an old mirror hidden in her house. The mirror of balance. It showed two futures. One where she destroyed her family completely. Another where she walked away free. Ayla raised her wand. "I choose peace," she whispered. The mirror shattered, not in anger, but acceptance. At sunrise, Ayla opened a new room in the mansion. A school? For children who were told they were nothing. Hogwarts taught her magic. Pain taught her purpose. And revenge? Revenge taught her when to stop. To be continued. The school inside Ayla Blackwood's mansion opened quietly. No banners, no magic show, just children who had been told they were useless. Ayla stood before them, not as a witch, but as proof. "I was abandoned too," she said softly. "I was mocked too. And yes, I learned magic at Hogwarts." The children's eyes widened. "But listen carefully," Ayla continued. "Magic didn't save me. I saved myself." Across the city, her family was falling apart. Their lies were exposed, their stolen money traced, their reputation destroyed. Not by curses, by consequences. One evening, a final letter arrived. No owl this time, just plain paper. "Ayla, we were wrong. We need you." Ayla read it once, then placed it into the fireplace. It burned silently. She walked to the balcony of her dream house, the same balcony where she once felt alone. Now the house felt complete. A soft wind passed. For a moment, she thought she heard her old Hogwarts professor's voice. "The greatest witches are not remembered for their spells, but for the lives they change." Ayla smiled. She didn't destroy her family. She didn't forgive them either. She outgrew them. The mansion lights glowed brighter than ever, not because of magic, because it was finally filled with peace. Ayla Blackwood was no longer the girl they laughed at. She was the ending they never saw coming, everyone believed. Ayla Blackwood's story had ended. They were wrong. On a stormy night, the mansion's lights flickered, not softly this time. Violently, Ayla woke up as the walls trembled. Her wand, untouched for years, flew into her hand on its own. "This isn't the house," she whispered. "This is old magic." In the hidden basement, a door appeared where none had existed before. The Hogwarts crest burned into the stone. A voice echoed from the darkness. "You walked away from power once." Ayla Blackwood. A tall figure stepped forward, a former Hogwarts professor. Banished, forgotten, dangerous. "You were meant for more," he said. "For dominance, not peace." Ayla's eyes hardened. "I already chose," she replied. The man smiled. "Then why does the house still answer your magic?" The truth struck her. Her dream house wasn't just protected. It was built on ancient magical ground, a legacy site, a battleground. Outside, shadows gathered, creatures that didn't belong in this world. Ayla lifted her wand. This time, not for revenge, for protection, for the children sleeping upstairs, for the future she built. "I didn't want this war," she said calmly. Lightning flashed. "But I'll finish it." The mansion roared alive, and Hogwarts magic returned. Stronger than ever, the sky split open with thunder. Ayla Blackwood stood in the center of the mansion hall, wand raised, eyes calm. The house responded. Walls shifted. Windows sealed themselves. Ancient symbols burned into the floor. This was no longer a dream house. It was a magical fortress. The children were hidden safely upstairs, protected by a charm Ayla had learned in her final year at Hogwarts. Outside, the banished professor lifted his staff. "You chose the weak," he shouted. "You could have ruled." Ayla's voice was steady. "I already rule." The ground shook. Shadow creatures rushed forward, crashing against invisible barriers. Each time they struck, the mansion glowed brighter. Ayla whispered a spell not found in any book. Not dark, not light, balanced. The shadows froze. Memories flooded the battlefield. Every insult Ayla endured. Every door closed in her face. Every night she cried alone. The creatures screamed and vanished. The professor staggered back. "This power," he whispered. "It isn't Hogwarts magic." Ayla stepped forward. "No," she said softly. "It's what Hogwarts couldn't teach." She raised her wand one last time. "I forgive my past." The final wave of energy exploded outward, not destruction. Release. The sky cleared. The symbols faded. The enemy fell to his knees, powerless. At dawn, the mansion stood untouched. The children watched from the balcony as Ayla lowered her wand. "Is it over?" one asked. Ayla smiled gently. "For us," she said. "Yes." But far away, deep beneath forgotten ruins, another wand awakened, a darker one. Watching, waiting. Deep beneath forgotten ruins, a heartbeat echoed, slow, ancient, angry. A woman opened her eyes. Her name was Morgana Vale. Once she was Hogwarts' greatest prodigy. Too powerful, too fearless. They didn't defeat her. They erased her. Far away, Ayla Blackwood froze mid-step. Her wand burned hot in her palm. "This magic," she whispered. "I've felt it before." The sky above the mansion darkened again, unnaturally fast. Morgana rose from the shadows, her cloak stitched with spells older than Hogwarts itself. "So," Morgana said calmly, her voice slicing through the wind, "you are the girl who chose peace." Ayla stepped forward. "And you are the woman who chose control." Morgana smiled. "Hogwarts lied to you," she said. "They taught obedience, not truth." The ground cracked between them. Children screamed inside the mansion as alarms of ancient magic rang. Ayla raised her wand, steady. "I built this life without fear," she said. "You won't take it," Morgana's eyes glowed dark silver. "I don't want your house," she replied. "Want you." In the air between them, visions formed Ayla ruling the magical world. Ayla feared. Ayla alone. "This is what you could be," Morgana whispered. Ayla's hand trembled. Ayla's hand trembled. Then she lowered her wand. "I've already been alone," she said softly. "And I survived." Power surged from Ayla's feet into the mansion, the land, the sky. The house chose her again. Morgana stepped back for the first time. "Impossible," she murmured. Ayla looked at her, eyes bright with resolve. "I am not Hogwarts' mistake," she said. "I am its correction." Lightning struck between them. The final war had begun. The wind screamed as magic tore the sky apart. Ayla Blackwood and Morgana Vale stood face to face. No army, no shields, just two witches. And one final choice. You still don't understand, Morgana said, her voice calm but deadly. The world only respects power. Ayla tightened her grip on her wand. No, she replied. It respects those who protect it. Morgana struck first. Dark magic exploded like fire, tearing through the ground. The mansion shook. Windows shattered. Ayla didn't attack. She stood. Golden light rose from the earth, from the house, from every child sleeping safely inside. Not borrowed power, chosen power. The spells collided. The sky froze. Time slowed. Memories flooded both witches. Morgana saw herself as a girl at Hogwarts. Alone, feared, rejected. Ayla saw herself younger too. Mocked, abandoned, broken. Their eyes met. You became what hurt you, Ayla said softly. Morgana screamed and unleashed everything she had. Darkness covered the world. Ayla closed her eyes and let go. Her wand shattered. Light burst from her hands. Not magic from books, but magic from truth. The darkness cracked. Morgana fell to her knees. This power, she whispered, it has no hatred. Ayla stepped closer. It has an ending. She placed her hand on Morgana's forehead. Not a curse, a release. The ancient magic binding Morgana shattered. Centuries of rage dissolved into tears. The storm ended. The sky cleared. Morgana vanished, not destroyed, but finally free. Silence returned. The mansion stood whole again. Children ran outside, safe. Ayla looked at her broken wand, then smiled. She didn't need it anymore. A silver owl landed beside her with one final letter. Hogwarts seal. History will remember you not as a witch, but as a legend. Ayla Blackwood turned toward her home, her dream house, her sanctuary, her victory. 10 years had passed. Ayla Blackwood's mansion was no longer just a house. It was a school, a sanctuary, a legend. Children who were once told they were nothing now learned magic, courage, and self-worth under her guidance. Ayla walked through the halls, older, stronger, wiser. Her wand, repaired but unused, hung on the wall, a reminder of the battles fought and lessons learned. A letter arrived. No Hogwarts seal this time, just plain paper. We have changed. We want to see you. We are sorry. She smiled softly. The past could knock on her door, but she no longer feared it. Outside, the garden bloomed with rare magical flowers, gifts from students across the world. The wind whispered her name. The wind whispered her name. Teacher, protector, legend. Ayla stepped onto the balcony of her dream house. The sun rose, painting the mansion golden. She thought of Morgana Vale, of Hogwarts, of every dark night she had endured. And then she realized she had won without revenge. She had built a future without fear, and she had become more than anyone imagined. From the shadows of her past, a new chapter awaited for Ayla Blackwood, the girl who was mocked, abandoned, and underestimated. The world was finally hers to inspire. 10 years had passed since Ayla Blackwood defeated Morgana Vale. The mansion was alive with laughter, magic, and hope. The school she built thrived, but magic never truly sleeps. Late one night, Ayla sensed a chill in the air. Not ordinary wind, not ordinary magic, something old, ancient. A shadow moved at the edge of the garden, a figure cloaked watching. Her wand still hung on the wall, untouched, but her instincts screamed. The figure stepped forward. You survived, a voice whispered. Impressive, but the world is changing, and new blood must rise. Ayla's eyes narrowed. A new challenger? A new threat? She took a deep breath. Her mansion glowed. The wards strengthened. The children slept safely, unaware. This time, Ayla murmured, I will not wait for the danger to reach them. Lightning flashed. The wind carried whispers from the past. Hogwarts Morgana legacy. Ayla raised her hand, not trembling. She had learned patience. She had learned control. She had learned how to fight a threat that hides in shadows. The figure disappeared into the night. But Ayla knew one thing. Magic was alive. And the next battle had already begun. The wind howled like a beast. Ayla Blackwood stood at the balcony of her mansion, eyes scanning the horizon. The cloaked figure from the shadows had returned. You protect them well, the voice whispered, echoing across the valley. I am Seraphine Noctis, and I will claim what is mine. Ayla's heart tightened, but she didn't flinch. She had faced Morgana Vale. She had survived betrayal, darkness, and loss. She knew what she had to do. The mansion responded instantly. Walls shifted into towers. The gates rose like colossal shields. Ancient wards hummed, filling the night with golden light. Seraphine lifted her hands, dark energy twisting into serpents of shadow. "Step aside," she hissed, "or perish." Ayla stepped forward, wand in hand, but instead of striking, she whispered a spell taught at Hogwarts, one she had perfected herself. A wave of light erupted from her chest. Not a spell, not a curse, a force of truth and courage. The shadows shrieked. Seraphine's energy faltered. "You rely on fear," Ayla said softly. "I rely on hope, and hope protects more than power ever could." The two forces collided above the mansion. Lightning and shadow intertwined. The very ground shook. Magic older than Hogwarts itself erupted. Seraphine screamed. "I will return," she shouted, vanishing into the night, leaving only whispers of her presence. Ayla lowered her wand. The sun rose over the mansion, painting the walls gold. Ayla Blackwood stood on her balcony, the wind playing with her hair. 10 years of battles, magic, and challenges had led her here. The shadows of her past, Morgana, Seraphine, the mockery of her family, had all faded. Her students laughed in the courtyard, learning magic and courage, unaware of the battles that had shaped their teacher. Her mansion, once just a dream, now stood as a sanctuary and legacy. Ayla looked at her repaired wand hanging on the wall. She smiled softly. "I fought darkness," she whispered. "But in the end, I built light." The letters from the past lay burned in the fireplace. The grudges, the hatred, the revenge, they no longer had power over her. Ayla's eyes scanned the horizon. A new day had begun. The threats of magic would always exist, but she was ready, not as a girl seeking revenge, but as a legend, a guardian, and a teacher of courage. Her heart was calm. Her house was full. Her legacy was secured. And for the first time in her life, Ayla Blackwood felt truly at peace. Ayla Blackwood's journey has come to an end. From being mocked and abandoned, to mastering magic at Hogwarts, to building her dream house and confronting her darkest enemies. She proved that true power isn't in revenge, it's in courage, wisdom, and legacy. Her story reminds us that even in the darkest times, we can rise, we can grow, and we can create a future worth living. If you were inspired by Ayla's journey, hit the like button, share this video, and subscribe for more epic magical stories. Remember, every legend begins with a dream, and every dream can become a legacy.